What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. My name is Jonathan with Cinco Squad. Hopefully everyone can hear me. With me are my boys, Mike DeSanto, Grandpa Jay, Pat in the Hat. Today's special episode. We got
Where did Grandpa Jay come from?
because we kept calling him Old Man Jay.
No, I mean like he just popped out of nowhere. I'm like, he's gonna make it on time. Came in on time. Slide in like that Collinsworth slide.
Hey, that's what I talk about. Sliding in DMs. I just slide into podcasts like, what?
I know he always just pops up like ready to go. Ready to.
You can slide into my pod. But,
oh boy.
No thanks, bro.
Offer nice, but no.
Great
my hospitality. My hospitality.
Down this time.
Well, boys, we got a special episode today. We got Quinton Rose of the Westchester Knicks coming on the show here in just about 10 minutes. But first, we're going to get on to, what you're sipping on this evening. No. I needed a drink, and I didn't get one, so.
You sipping on air?
What you sipping on? I didn't. I swear I didn't freeze.
Is it a mystery anymore, gentlemen?
No.
It's a mystery.
No.
I'm going for the coconut water sponsorship. Come on, Kirkland. Hear me out.
Costco loves you, man.
That shit by the truckload. A parent bought me a case of this, and I can't finish it fast enough. There was like 12 of them in the case. I'm like, man, it's gonna take me a month to finish it.
They must watch the show.
It's delicious. Pat, what you got for us today, man? Show me what's in that cup.
It's a sad day, guys. I have no Pat Blues. I have a Mick Ultra.
That's a great beer, though.
But we improvise and get a Labatt glass.
Boy.
That's a great beer, though. What are you talking about?
Even though Miller Lights only has one more calorie?
I'm not going to drink it because I put a lot of head on that.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
Mike, what are you sipping on?
All right, so special episode, boys. We got to have a special drink, and I promised you that I would have a weird one coming up, and this is it. I have myself.
Like he never has weird ones.
This, which is a Dream Patch fruited sour.
Ew.
6.5% alcohol with cherry, blueberry, and raspberry.
Is it like an amaretto
cherry? I like how he says the percentage, just in case he gets a little wobbly during the show.
That's really good.
Mike, you're the straight arrow on this group. You got to stay level tonight.
I know.
Yeah, stay level.
Interview to do, bro.
It's true. It's true. And John, you said you weren't able to grab anything?
I just got my jug, You
got your jug? Oh, of course.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for.
Good. I'm glad the jug made
That's
the
a
trip.
Quiet slap. I appreciated that.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, no gons tonight, man.
Gollins?
Gons.
Oh, gons. I'm sorry.
The Mick Ultra's already hit.
All right, I can't. I'm in a different location. Everything's messing up. Yes. Wi-Fi's going. I might start freezing. Sorry, guys.
Once you freeze in a cool position, we're good.
Screenshot it for everyone. So
always.
Definitely.
Boys, it was a great weekend in sports. We had a lot of great college basketball games at a lot of
Did we?
Other than Syracuse. What were you guys' thoughts on the weekend and everything like that? And we'll get into the Pay May parlay coming up here soon and whatnot. All right.
How did I do on that parlay?
No, I think
we check.
I thought the weekend was interesting. There was a lot of good college basketball on this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of good games, a lot of interesting games.
So Kansas proved to me that they might be the team to beat again, which sucks because they're just a dominant team. They play great team basketball. That's what they pride themselves around. My Kentucky Wildcats are on the comeback. I love seeing that 3 straight and beating those Tennessee Ugly Orange for sweeping them for the season.
And we beat them. Did you see that coming?
Well. And we sweep those dirty Gators as well. So it's a good time for me here, boys. But once again, we have to question, is there number one? Because will Bama be able to keep that superstar on the floor? Might be one of those Kenyon Martin Cincinnati years where they thought they had their magical run coming and the rug gets pulled from under them and then the tournament's even more wide open because Bama looks like legit they could win their region, but we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe we'll talk about it later in the show. I don't know if you guys heard, but
are they just holding off charges on this guy until after April?
Yeah.
Like, how is he not in jail by now?
I'll tell you what, the way Bama operates and the way Nick Saban has made that program hey, Coppers, question any Bama.
Yeah, true.
And we'll see what happens.
Nate Oates ran down to Saban. Help me.
Yeah.
What do I do?
You run this town. Help me.
Help.
What do I do? Don't worry, I got
play
you.
him.
Go play the game.
That's what you do.
Go to Texas A&M. I got you.
Nate Oates' comments about the whole situation, though.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I mean, realistically,
he's saying
like
he was basically in the wrong place at the wrong time. Even though he texted the guy saying, "Hey, I got the gun for you."
Yeah, I mean,
that's
ultimately,
that's my
you know,
it's not
wrong.
Wrong
not
place,
get
wrong
too much
time.
into
That's,
it, but I mean, it is. I mean, it is what it. I mean, it is at this point. I mean, we can't really. I mean, until they charge him, that's when we can start talking about it.
What I'm trying to get into is like the college coaches are kings of campuses, and
Right.
Nate Oates is saying that he has no idea what happens after practice. No bullshit, man. You know where these guys are in AAU ball, prep school, all the way through high school, and he doesn't know what's going on in his own campus. Get out of here.
But in all honesty, bro, I tell you what, our coaches never had a clue what we were up to. They could only hope that it wasn't something stupid.
They can only be around each other. They can only be around each other so much.
Bro, listen, the amount of time they work in the office, when they're gone, they're gone. Go home, go to your family. It's a couple hours, and some of them are workaholics that might end up being up at who knows ungodly hours and leaving the house before they can even kiss the kids goodbye, have a great day at school. So when they're out, and they're hoping that the leadership of the team, given that he's a freshman, would say, "Hey, you're wearing a Bama jersey. It's not Miller, it's Alabama. Like, here's how it works." But he has to set the tone for that culture.
Right.
And if he sets the tone for that culture, then you worry less. If you don't, and you're kind of like, "Hey, I just hope these kids behave themselves," then you're not doing a complete job. You're supposed to be raising men. You're not supposed to be getting players to the NBA draft only. Like, you have a multiple job to do. And that's
I think the biggest thing, Jay, I think the biggest thing, though, and I agree with you ultimately, right? Like, you're supposed to say when you're 18, you're a grown man. You know, you gotta, you know, you're at the end of the day, like,
you're
a job, you can go do what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, when we went to college, we were accountable for our own actions and stuff like that.
But Nate Oates could have said a better comment than.
I get it. He probably regrets his comments, but I mean, ultimately, you know, he's fake. His mind is so locked in on winning a national title and everything that he's probably got such tunnel vision. It shouldn't be, but
the president of the school had the head of media contact him and say, "This is what you say. Yeah. Nothing more, nothing less.
Have a PR team.
Stop.
Well, nothing more, nothing less. Let's get ourselves to the payment parlay for the week.
Let's do it.
Terrific segue.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go ahead, boys.
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Jamie, I got three.
I got 4 out of 1 last week. I got 4 out of 5. Sorry, I missed 1 because of dirty Manchester City not doing their job and drawing against a crappy team. So I was this close to hitting my parlay. Pat was 3 for 2. So we were winners last week, but not ultimate winners. Unfortunately, that means all the money goes to the bank as usual. So we're going to give it another shot this week.
Hey, we're getting there.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You got the honors, man.
All right. Thank you very much. So I haven't done this yet. I'm going to stick to the hardwood and go on all college basketball.
Yeah, you are.
Side team, pleaser, teaser, take it or leave it, baby. It's awesome with a capital A. So we're starting off with the awesome team out west, the Arizona Wildcats. We're taking them to win. It's a rival game against Arizona State, who's been playing pretty crappy ball lately. They had a pretty close game last time. I expect Arizona to blow them out. Then I'm going with Iowa State to win a very, very close one. Everybody's so enamored by Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 3-11. They're not a great team. They play big teams tough, but Iowa State ultimately pulls this one out because they need a win. Texas A&M to win. I think Texas A&M takes care of business pretty easy this weekend over Mississippi State. Miami to win over FSU. FSU is 0-6 against the spread. So whatever the spread is in their last 6 games, take the Hurricanes. They're playing great ball. John, you should go watch that game. And Gonzaga slipped up and lost to St. Mary's 3 weeks ago on the road. It ain't happening in Spokane, can. Gonzaga's taking that one. Take it or leave it. That's my 5-team awesome with a capital A college basketball. Pay me, parlay. Pay me that money, baby. Sean or Mike, you got to ride with me this week. Pat,
you're being aggressive this week.
He is too.
There's a lot of table slapping.
No, not only that, you're going aggressive. Like you're thinking, like Iowa State's going to roll the table on Oklahoma. Oklahoma's stepped up. Oklahoma's stepped up a lot on. So I like the pick.
I got the winners right here. We'll talk about it later. Got the winners right here. Got the winners right here.
Go for it.
All right, let's get that hockey out of the way, boys. Hurricanes money line against the Senators at home. And then I got the Timberwolves money line against the Hornets. Ooh, you like that. I know you like that. I know you like that. Get out of here with that.
Mm-mm.
All right, now I'm going college. We're going all the way out to the single island, boys. Hawaii, -3.5.
I knew you were going to take that game.
Hawaii.
I knew you were going to take that game.
It's Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Parlays are all about having fun, man. Stay up and watch that game, baby.
12 a.m. tip-off, baby.
Xavier, money line against Seton Hall. It's on the road, but take Xavier. And then Troy against Coastal Carolina, money line. I'm not messing with the points this week. It's money line. That's where I'm messing up. I figured it out. I read the stats. I played back my own tapes. It's the money line this week. I'm winning.
Did you go back and watch?
Always. Hit like and subscribe.
I already know who I'm going with. So, Mike, do you have any comments?
Yes, I know who I'm going with as well.
Well,
as much as I want to watch Hawaii, that's fine.
As much as I love the hockey pick, Pat, I got to ride with Jamie this week.
Oh, that's me too. So I guess we're going from one side to another.
Here we go.
Welcome to the dark side, boys.
I love my haters. That you guys just proved mine wins this week because you both took Jamie.
So
that's how it always happens, man.
Well, I mean, ultimately, we got Jamie. When I see you on Friday tomorrow, I'll give you the $5 in person.
$5
Nah, bro. After I win, we'll just pay you $5. I'll just pay you out $5 less. That's all on the split.
Okay, sounds good. Well, everyone, if you want to go make those picks, like and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube,
yes,
and now we're on iHeart Podcasts. So
yes, we are.
Tune in to iHeart Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
That was
well done, by the way, gentlemen. Well done.
So we're everywhere now.
Yeah, we're trying to go global.
Around the world.
To Europe.
Rain is spreading.
We got some France listeners too on Anchor. So
even though none
but as I was trying to hold off the college basketball talk because that was our first topic of the day before we bring on Quinton here. One of the things that I've noticed over the last 3 or 4 years is that the rivalries, and especially now that Coach K, Roy Williams are gone, that rivalry is kind of out of here. Not out of here, but it's not it doesn't seem as much more hype, right? That Coach K is not on the sidelines. John Shire versus Hubert Davis is but so how is the college landscape affected rivalries? You guys think? Jay, I'll let you take it first.
So I actually, in my time, the real one was Dean Smith and Coach K. I mean, that's when it was players were drawing blood to win those games, and that was winning. To me, that almost mattered more than winning the national championship. In the grand scale of things, no, but in the season, both those teams were if we go 2-0, that's our national championship, and they cared that much about the rivalry. Yeah. And there was some other deep rivalries as well. I mean, when Arkansas was a great team, Arkansas and Kentucky had a mid-'90s rivalry that was pretty hot in the SEC when both teams were playing at a national championship level. And it was a dogfight, man. Rivalries meant something because we knew kids weren't transferring and hopping to the NBA in 8 months. That wasn't really happening. We knew that players were committing to be there for 4 years, regardless of whether they were considered a top draft pick as a junior. So you're getting grown-ass men playing against other grown-ass men who have been in that program, indoctrinated in that rivalry, and want nothing else but to be one of those seniors that get to brag about having a winning record. We just don't have that anymore. They don't. Those bragging rights aren't there, and players aren't staying for those 8 games and maybe more if they meet in the tournament or in their conference tournament. And that really used to make me stay home. I mean, as a Kentucky fan, awesome, but I was all for Duke, Carolina, man. That was the rivalry that everybody, I don't care what's going on today. If I have a tennis lesson, Mom, cancel it. I'm here, I'm home, I'm watching this. Give me some UNC Duke, and it's just not what it once was.
Yeah, I think it's coming back, honestly, because with the transfer portal, with everything, like the NIL deals, it's allowing guys to stay in college, because in the NBA, realistically, it's very difficult now, as we've talked about on a lot of shows, that there's a lot of talent there, right? So when you're looking at the NBA landscape, okay, I can go, or I can stay in college, keep developing my game, and still get paid. So there's an incentive to stay back, and I feel like a lot of the rivalries are starting to come back. Like Syracuse is starting to play Georgetown and Villanova a little bit more, but it's not the same.
Man.
It's not the same, because we're not playing for anything with them.
And they're playing.
We're just playing against them in December in a non-conference game, when it used to mean we used to play them in Madison Square Garden for a Big East title to go to the NCAA tournament. So
the thing too is they're playing them on one-offs because it's not conference. You're not playing Villanova twice, home and away. You're not playing Georgetown twice, home and away. You're not getting the student sections in the games against the bench players. It's a lot different with the conference landscape. Take Syracuse. They're trying to pin Syracuse against Pittsburgh as a rivalry. Syracuse against Boston College as a rivalry, because they both came from, or all the teams came from, Big East. Syracuse-Pittsburgh was more of a football rivalry, and even that died out in the late 90s there.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, you
can't
I agree
force rivalries. That's the thing.
I don't think you can force it. I think it can develop, right? And I think with the transfer portal, with the NIL deals, and a lot of kids staying back now, that the rivalries are starting to come back a little bit more. Like Kentucky, Florida is a little bit more.
But the rivalry,
Baylor, Kansas is the real deal right now too.
Yeah, they're competitive. They're top teams.
Yep.
The rivalry really isn't the kids playing the game, though. It's the student sections.
It's everything.
Fans.
It's everything. It's everything. Like the ambiance around the stadium, like the feeling.
How do you think the Red River rivalry is still a thing after all these years? It's the fans.
I can remember going to the Carrier Dome and for Syracuse Georgetown, and you feel the animosity between both. Like, you walk by Georgetown,
oh man,
you're swearing at them,
flipping off everyone.
Pat's flipping them off.
I am the animosity.
But I know you guys are biased, right? I know you guys are biased. But if game day was like, hey, we can only park in one campus, which campus should it be right now for rivalries?
It's tough. I mean, right? Like, do you go rivalry, or do you go like historic name, or do you go top teams? Because top teams, obviously, you go to the Big 12.
Right now, game day is like, hey, we got one shot this year. We got to park on one campus.
You had it with Kansas Baylor.
Last weekend of the season, who's it going to be?
Well, I mean, I would say Baylor, Kansas. I think the Coach K last year was good, but I'd say Baylor, Kansas, because they're two top teams, right?
Yeah,
and they're fighting for a 1 seed.
Yeah, and no one likes Kansas in that conference.
It's true.
They just want to beat them.
I think I agree. Right now, it's Baylor, Kansas. I mean, honestly, parking at Duke for a UNC Duke game at Cameron Indoor is usually a pretty good bet, because the difference, I was looking at this when we were bringing up this topic, the difference between a UNC Duke game at Duke and a UNC Duke game at UNC is the crowd, as like you guys said, where Cameron Indoor is still very close to the court.
Right.
Everybody, including the student section right in the middle, is right on top of them. Yeah. The Dean Smith Center is a little more of an arena, because they used to play at Carmichael Auditorium. That was very in Cameron Indoor type, on top of the court, students and fans right there. Right. But it gave way to, the want for an arena, like a Coliseum type thing for them to be playing in.
Brand got bigger. They had to accommodate the brand.
Gee, I wonder why that happened.
It is crazy to me, like the fact that that Cameron Indoor is so like on the court. Like, you can't even go inbound the ball.
Here.
And you're like, they're like over your head. I'm like,
you got a couple places.
Borderline
you have a couple places
they
like
know
that, huh? Like New Mexico has that pit, like you call it the pit. New Mexico is one of the places that was really intimidating to play. And I think the better ticket in the ACC right now is going to Virginia for the Virginia Duke game, because they're the only fans that honestly cheer more for a 24 shot clock violation or whatever this 30-second shot clock violation. They're cheering more for that than a dunk. I mean, those fans love defense that much. The Virginia dunk, they'd be like, yay, but they get a shot clock violation and there's people kissing and hugging and celebrating like they just won the lottery. It's nuts there, right? And they create this awesome environment. You guys are right. Like there's certain places now where it's still really cool because the fans have adopted like their style and their team's personality, right? So
I'm sorry, but
what?
I didn't expect the kissing part.
No, they literally are. Like people are like men and women are
I expected cheering, the clapping, yeah. They're making out. They're making out.
Bro, they're making out with each other.
2023, man. Love is love.
It's like find the kiss count.
I mean, I don't care, but it's just like it caught me off guard a little bit. I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Dudes in Speedos ain't making out with dudes in Speedos, all right? We got same gender stuff happening in Virginia. They ain't got freaking
no, I mean, it is a factor. I know rivalries. I agree with you guys that I think rivalries are coming back. I think we're seeing a lot of with all these teams changing conferences. We may start to see new rivalries be formed, especially in college basketball, where you've got guys in the transfer portal that are going to different schools than they would have before because they want a chance to start.
Yeah, but they all play AAU together. Like
I know, well that
buddies,
but that can increase the rivalry though. You get a kid from Duke and a kid from UNC that both played AAU and even high school against each other in North Carolina, and suddenly they're representing the two biggest basketball schools in North Carolina against each other at least twice a year.
I'm just telling you guys, nothing's like the Big East rivalry.
Oh, I don't disagree.
We're never going to see that again, too.
I don't disagree. I absolutely don't disagree. But, gentlemen, I think it's time because we have a guest today that might know a little bit about college basketball rivalries, might know a little bit about what it takes to compete at that highest level in college basketball. We have today former pride of Bishop Kearney High School in Rochester, New York. I do have to mention that. Former player at Temple University for the Temple Owls and current Westchester Knick. Bring on Quinton Rose.
Yeah, boy.
What's up, Quinton?
Quinton, how you doing?
Oh, not me. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling. How y'all doing, man?
Pretty
great.
Doing well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you for being here with us, man. We appreciate your time too.
Yes, sir.
So, Quinn, what you sipping on tonight?
Yeah, what you sipping on tonight?
I know you're in the middle of the season. You get it.
Appropriate color, too.
Lemon lime, I like it.
That's the best flavor, besides Cool Blue.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
See, man after my own heart. Man after my own heart. That Cool Blue. I love it. All right. Well, Quinton, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Like we said, we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and come on the show and chop it up about some basketball. So I guess we'll open the floor to some questions. Who wants to go first?
Jamie said he got some questions.
Yeah. Sure, man. Quinn, what's up, man?
Oh,
so,
just got some? Okay.
I'm great, man. Look, when I played a long time. I was a swimmer for a long time. Went to the Olympics, and for me, it was like you dedicate yourself to your craft, and at some point, the light bulb goes off, right? So for you, what I want to know is, what point in your life or your career did the light bulb go off when you realized, hey, I think I can take this really far, all the way to where I want to go in my sport?
All right, so like growing up, Little League and stuff like that, I always would hear from other people like, oh yeah, he's nice. Oh yeah, he's nice. Like, he's the one. But like, it didn't really click for me till I would say probably like 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
When I started like getting out of the city and like going to these AU tournaments away from here, or away from my hometown, and I started playing against other guys, and I was like doing like the same thing, I started to realize that, all right, maybe I can really do something with this.
Was there someone who influenced you there? Was there a coach or another player that like made you feel that confidence even more? Was there somebody you can remember that kind of gave you that surety that like, for sure, this is my path. This is where I know I'm destined to do?
Not really. I mean, my dad was always in my corner. Like, he always let me know how good I could be and where I could take it. So I would definitely say him. But besides that, it was it was just me realizing it, honestly.
Awesome.
Quinn, when you were making your college decision, and we were just talking about rivalries, did that have any play in it? Like when you were looking at and the process through all the scholarships, were you thinking about, oh, my favorite school is this, and I always wanted to be in that type of rivalry? Was that something of thought?
Yeah, it definitely came. I thought about it, but like, I mean, I figured in my head, I was like, whatever school I would go to, I would have a rival. You know what I mean? I would have a rival or two, a couple, 2, 3, 4, however many. But like with Temple, it was like already coming with 4 other rivals because we have the Big Five. So we're like all in one city competing, plus Drexel. So it's really the City Six. So it's like that's guaranteed rivalry games right there because those games always go down. The Big Five games.
Speaking of the Big Five, how cool was it that you got your 1,000th career point in the Big Five game?
Oh, it was really dope, honestly. But it didn't cross my mind. Like, to be honest, I didn't know like how close or how far away I was. Like, I knew it was approaching. Like, it had to be.
Yeah.
Because like I saw like guys that I came into college with, they were starting to get theirs, and I was just like, all right, maybe it is. But then one day I searched my name on Twitter, and I saw like I was like 60-something points away. But then even after that, it like slipped my mind once the game started. So it was definitely cool to have that happen in a Big Five game because just the atmosphere of those games is electric.
So did you find out after the game that you did that?
No, I found out during.
Okay.
But like, yeah, it was a whole story. I found out it was crazy.
Did coach bring you out the game and get you standing? Or what? Did he's like, all right, let's bring you on there. Let's get him on there and get a little appreciation and love.
No, because we weren't at home. So
okay.
I got my ball and little like right before our next game was at home, like 2 days after that.
Okay.
So yeah, I just got recognized at home.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Is that still kind of wild to you that you can search your name on Google and there's all these search results from your whole career and just like the fame you were able to achieve?
Not really, because it's been a few years now, so like it isn't really that crazy. It's more so funny when like one of my little cousins or something realizes they can do it and they go show like all their friends and stuff. That's probably the coolest part about it. But I'm pretty used to it.
All right.
So what's it feel like? I know you probably get this a lot. So what's it feel to be an NBA basketball player? Like you made it to the, you're in the G League right now, but like you made it. Like you got, you're there. What's it feel like? Is it like everything you dreamed of, or it's still like setting in?
I mean, honestly, I've always felt this way. Like even when I was in college, like at the top of my game in college, like doing my thing, I always felt like it was more work to be done. So it was never like I made it feeling. Because like, I just feel like what's like actually making it. Like I feel like I'm tapping into my potential, but I just feel like there's so much more. So I'll never say I really made it.
I like that.
Yeah,
like that little chip on your shoulder there.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta have it in the pros, man. Hell yeah.
What's been the toughest part? What's been the toughest part? Would you say to transitioning from that college game to the pros?
It's honestly just like a lot of it is off the court. It's just like carrying yourself like a professional. There's no like in college, oftentimes I don't want to say you get babysat, but you get a lot more leeway than you do in the pros, and like certain mistakes in professional sports can cost you your job. You know what I mean? So it's like just the hardest part really is just, and I wouldn't even say it's hard for me. It was just an adjustment, like just to remember being professional at all times, like. In the facilities, outside of the facilities, you really never know what can happen. So just being professional in every situation.
So speaking of that whole professional and situation sort of thing, right? So given you're a Rochester guy, like is this your dream scenario? Like did you dream one day, like I want to be at MSG with the Knickerbocker jersey on? This is the jersey I want to wear the most. Like was that something you thought like that's my childhood dream? That's the team I want to play for, or was that something else you had in mind?
Like honestly, my dream was to just be playing at MSG in general. I mean, I was never really picky. I know so many teams I could go to, and like honestly, any of them will be a life-changing experience, and it'll be a blessing. So, And I always felt that way. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, when I was younger, I wanted to play for this team or this team. Never really had a team I wanted to play for. I just, I wanted to be in the NBA.
Don't lie, the Knicks weren't that good when you were growing up. Was it because you're like, I ain't too sure about this franchise right now?
No, but even when they, they got like Carmelo, they had that stretch where they got Carmelo, they had Stoudemire. Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Mike, they were all right.
That was actually a fun team.
They have J.R. Smith when he was like a pogo stick, man.
I love watching them. I remember like Melo torched us. I was a Heat fan growing up, like a Dwayne Wade fan. This was around the time.
All right, let's go.
That's my this boy. Was when we got LeBron and Bosh. So I remember like really watching like Melo go for like 60 plus against that team. So yeah, that Knicks team was fire to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I remember watching Dwayne Wade play because Pat and I's favorite team is Syracuse in college. Mm-hmm. So I remember watching Dwayne Wade at Marquette in the Final Four, and that's what made me kind of like follow him to the Heat. And then I'm a big Shaq fan, so I was like, all right, got to go to the Heat.
Yes, sir.
These guys have good memories. I'm a Kentucky fan. I had a memory of that dude balling on us in the Elite Eight and putting one of the best teams Kentucky ever put in a tournament out single-handedly, and I was like, this guy going to be something, but screw you for now, bro. Like,
See, I had to go back and rewatch that stuff. I was a little young when he was in college, so I just remember the moment that made me like D-Wade was, I want to say it was his rookie year. It was two moments I vividly remember. And I was really young. But I remember I think they were playing the Suns, I want to say. And he blocked his shot and then made a half court shot to end the quarter or something like that. And I was like, oh no. But when I was younger, at that age, I thought the game was over. Like I didn't realize.
It should be.
Why it was so
you run around the house, they won.
It's half to the
total. It's game.
After that, I was sold on D-Wade. Like, yeah, he's that guy.
Plus all them circus shots he put on.
The backwards layups, he had a whole.
Oh yeah.
He
used to play horse on the court.
No, really.
He used to play pig and horse on the court, just like, oh, I can do this. I remember some of those shots. I was like, damn, how is he doing this? And he makes it look so easy.
He didn't get enough love or compared enough for how great of a defender he was. He should have been in comparison to like a Gary Payton, original Gary Payton. I know GP3 or whatever right now is awesome too, but the original GP who could shut down, he did not get enough credit for how good he was on that side of the floor.
Yeah, I think it's because his offense was so good and he was so talented offensively. His defense just went unnoticed.
Yeah.
But,
let me ask you something. About the new college landscape with everything. How are your thoughts on this? I don't know if you were just after the NIL or just before, or just before it, but give me your thoughts on that and how it's kind of changed the college landscape in basketball in general.
I mean, I can't really say because I'm not too tapped into college basketball. The past few months, we've been playing a lot, traveling a lot. So I mean, I do catch games when I can though, and I would say college, but I don't know what it is. Can't place my fingers on it, but it just doesn't look the same. Watching it, it's just it's not the same. I don't know. I honestly can't put my finger on it. And me and my teammates talk about it a lot. What is it? We always try to figure it out. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
It almost seems like they're, we talk about it all the time here. It just seems like the parity in college basketball is so there, but it just seems like there's always those 2 or 3 teams that are just man, how are they that elite? You know what I'm saying?
That much better than everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just how,
But it seems to be different teams every year. Or at least there's at least one new team that wasn't one of those teams the year before.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could look at it in a positive light. Every year there's a new team that's, top 3, top 4, whatever you want to say in the country. So, I mean, every team's building, but I don't know. It just feels like there's no, long-standing, dynasties anymore.
Right.
I don't want to use that word, but when we were growing up, it was Duke's gonna be that, UNC's gonna be that, Kentucky's gonna be that, Kansas.
You're not gonna see UCLA again either.
Yeah, UCLA. Yeah. So it's I don't know. I think it's just, 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 I don't know. I think
You just made Jamie very happy.
Well, I'll tell you what they want. Gonzaga is like the Indianapolis Colts, where they're like the regular season champs, but they just don't close the deal in the playoffs, right? Like Gonzaga's been probably the most consistent team in the last 4 or 5 years. And
a lot of people would say that's because of their conference.
They ain't closing the deal.
Yeah, I would actually tend to agree with that. That usually the only team in that conference to even come close to challenging Gonzaga is like St. Mary's, and that's only like once a year that when St. Mary's is the home team.
But we know nobody wanted to play them either. And finally,
that's true.
Game scheduled, right? So finally, teams are like, fine, we'll play you.
Yeah.
So it's better for us now.
So something I was when I was kind of thinking up questions to ask you, Quinton, and things that I would be interested to hear your take on is, if I'm not mistaken, your last season, your senior season, that was the COVID year, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the year that like everything
stopped. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask about was,
that's rough.
What was it like? What was kind of your experience? Take us through your experience of your season suddenly stopping.
Yeah, I got you. We had just landed in Dallas for our conference tournament. And, we had like 2 days of practice. Then that third day out there, we were supposed to play. And like, we had everybody, like, we basically we were going to use all our tickets. Like, you know, you get a certain amount of tickets per player. Like, our team, we all had our family on there. Like, we had our band, our cheer squad, our dance squad. Like, we had everybody pulling up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we were supposed to play on a Wednesday. No, we were supposed to play on a Thursday. And the NBA got canceled on a Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah.
So, like, we still prepared. Like, we were, like, I asked my coach, because, you know, my coach, Aaron McKee, was from an NBA guy. So I'm like, do you got any, like, inside information? Like, are we still playing? He's like, yeah, we're still playing. This was that night.
Right.
He's like, yeah, from what I know, we're still playing. So that next morning when we get up for film, I think the game was like 4:00 game. So we get up like 8 for film, and we ate. No, we had breakfast and film. We ate and then we watched film. And like I stayed after and film to like talk with Coach McKee. And like I don't know, I just could tell something wasn't right. So when we were watching film like individually, he went out and took a phone call. And, no, actually, before this, when we got to breakfast the first time, like when the whole team got on there, they told us like we were gonna play the game, but there's like no fans, no cheerleaders, like nothing. So we all had to text our family members that traveled to Dallas, like yeah, they couldn't come to the game. So that was already like a bummer right there. So I'm like, hey, we about to play, and it's gonna be like a scrimmage, but we still got to find the energy to win this. So that was our mindset. But then when film was done, I stayed after. I was talking to Coach McKee. He went out to answer the phone. Came back and was like, I remember when he went like this. And I was like, dang, like, so like, it was just over with. And it was like, yeah, like, we're done. We got to, so just go back. Like, we just didn't know what we were doing, like, at all. We didn't even know how long we were going to stay in Dallas, like, nothing. So we went back to our rooms and we just chilled. We, like, gathered as a team. We talked, well, a few guys. We topped it up and, like, well, there's no reason to, like, just sit here upset. We might as well find something to do with ourselves. So then by that time, we found out that we were leaving the next day. So we just went out and we just, I don't know, we was all across Dallas that day.
Getting the last looks.
We're in Dallas. We're going to enjoy it.
Might as well, right?
I mean, you're in the right state for that time.
Hey, so if you guys are just tuning in, thank you for listening to Cinco Squad Pod. We're here with Quinton Rose, the Westchester Knicks and former Temple Owl player. And if you guys have any questions, you're tuning in, please, we'll be definitely willing to share what you have to ask Quinn or say to Quinn. But Quinn, as I say, John Chaney, probably one of the most respected coaches all time. Of course, he made he built the house that people call Temple basketball. Was there still remnants of his culture? Like, was there still a lot of talk of Chaney going to Temple by the time you got there as a freshman?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can just tell, like, you step foot in the gym, you step foot, like, in the basketball facility, you'll be able to see, like, his impact immediately. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like an aura around. Like, you just know, like, this is the house that Chaney built, basically.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you also played under Fran Dunphy, who's a Philadelphia legend in his own right.
Definitely.
He ever take you out on the town, show you every place he went to?
Nah, Coach Dump never took me. I mean, on my visit, I went out with him. We went to a nice restaurant. I can't remember what it's called. Never been there again, though, honestly. But it was fire. But nah, Coach Dunn, he was more of a laid back guy. Like he let us come to his house. So
Nice.
that meant more to me. Like I'd rather you let me in your home.
Wow.
That means a lot more than just taking me out somewhere. So
the dude looks like Philadelphia. He looks like Philadelphia.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, between him and Phil Martelli. Between him and Phil Martelli.
Like he should be doing construction still to this day. That's how I feel when I look at his picture.
Quinn, oh my bad. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you. This is the most important question of the whole show. Super
man.
Bowl 57. Were you rooting for the Chiefs or the Eagles?
Come on, man. You know how to go with the Eagles.
There we go. All right.
He's a Eagles fan. Quinn, you're on the show every week, all right?
Quinton Rose fan. Hell yeah.
You have said the right answer.
Here's what I want to do. I want anybody listening, for our sake, I want to get to know you a little better in terms of just off the basketball court. So I'm going to throw 5 questions your way. Rapid answer. First thing that comes to mind, all right?
All right.
First question. Favorite park or court to play at in the world?
Favorite park or court to play at in the world? Whew, that's tough.
I know it is.
I played that record once.
Nice.
Really?
Now I gotta go with I'm going with Westgate. Westgate Park. That's my park. That's where I grew up playing at, so I'm sticking with that one.
Oh,
Hometown.
nice.
Love it.
Westgate.
All right. French fries or potato chips?
French fries.
LeBron or MJ to start a franchise?
Bro.
Ronnie?
That's what I witnessed. I don't know. I didn't witness how good MJ was. So
That's
Go with who you know. Best topping on a pizza?
Cheese. Just cheese.
I know. It's just New York slice, right? Cheese all the way?
Yes, sir.
There you go. I knew that was coming out. Greatest ball player to don a Temple jersey?
That's tough.
Quinton Rose.
It's okay.
I'm gonna go with Mark Macon.
Mark Macon, all-time leading scorer, right?
Yeah, he's got that.
Yeah, playing the
Not
early
a
90s.
lot.
Yeah, like about 2,000 and high change, almost 3K. That boy can score, boy. But we were kind of saying, like, if you look at those records back in those days in college ball, we were talking about the rivalry before you came on. I don't know if you heard. It's like players committed. Like, I'm here for 4 years. You did it. But it's not really the culture and landscape so much anymore where, like, a player is going to give you those 4 years and fight for national championships, or he wants to be really indoctrinated in a rivalry. Mm-hmm. You kind of see that is that really the fall off of college basketball, and maybe we're kind of getting cheated out of like a good finished product. If players would stay for longer, we'd have a better product.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see how as fans you would think that, but I mean, I think the reason it is like that is you got to think as a player. Like some players grow up like basketball is really all they have. They don't really have much. They don't come from too much money. So basketball is their way of really changing their lives. And if you get to a situation where you're a decision away from being a millionaire, and you know what I mean? Like it's hard to tell somebody no, especially when like you see guys, some guys they do come back and like their situation that second year isn't well, and now they hurt their stock, and you know what I mean? They don't have the same opportunity. So I definitely think I see both sides of it. I see, like, as fans, like, college basketball would probably be better if guys stayed 4 years and, it'd be much more competitive. But at the end of the day, these guys are trying to make money and feed their families. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That makes sense. I mean, ultimately with college basketball, us as fans, we just love seeing the games and like watching and cheering and everything like that. But we ultimately know this is a trampoline to the next level, right? So
my question, like basketball is a business now, honestly.
Of course.
Right. These owners and teams are treating it like a business. So I mean, it's finally time that players are starting to do the same. So I respect it 100%.
Hear you, yeah.
Yeah, and with the NBA and being, we say on the podcast that there's a lot of parity in the NBA right now. Where back when like that Miami Heat team with LeBron and everything, it was kind of like one-sided. Like it was like the Eastern Conference. You had the Celtics and the Heat in the East, and then you had pretty much just the Spurs. Sometimes the Thunder. Do you feel like there's a lot more parity, especially with you trying to get to the Knicks here in hopefully in the next couple of weeks here? So, do you feel like there's like a lot more parity where the G League is actually a beneficial for you to just get some professional legs under you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, it's all about opportunity at this level. Like when hard work meets opportunity, that's when you get the results that a lot of guys are getting and are looking for. So, I mean, you just gotta be in the right situation, find what works for you, and just make the most out of your opportunity there, and hopefully get to the next step. But I definitely see what you mean by like there's just a lot more. I don't know how to explain it. It's just the NBA now is more of a toss up than it was back then. Like you were saying, like you knew it was gonna be come down to Celtics, Heat, Thunder,
or a
Spurs,
LeBron
Mavs.
team.
Yeah, like whatever
team
team during that
LeBron
time,
Yeah.
whatever team LeBron James was on, you know what I mean? But we can't say that anymore. Like you can't just like you can't look at the NBA this season and tell me you know who's going to the finals. Cause
right.
I would tell you you're lying. Like that's not this. Too much
You don't
competition.
think the Suns kind of pull ahead for the healthy KD? You don't think they kind of might be the front runners now?
I could say that like front runners, yeah, but still got Golden State, still got Dallas, still got
Denver.
You know what I mean? Like, I just can't see. I can't see myself saying they'll run away with it or they're guaranteed lock in the finals because
the West is just crazy.
Yeah, the West just like the East was holding it down for like the beginning of the season, and then the trade deadline hit, and
everyone emerged. It's right back to Celtics, Bucks, and Sixers.
Yeah. So hey, speaking of taking advantage of your opportunities, so the big talk now is Mac McClung saved the slam dunk contest, right? And obviously he's a G League player. How does that make you feel as a G League player that somebody could steal All-Star Weekend in a sense and be the star of the entire weekend? Like as a player,
that was really dope to see. I don't know him personally, but I was happy for him just because, like you said, we're both in the same league, and he had opportunity on a much bigger stage, and he did what he had to do. He showed out, bro, and that was tough. Like it was, as a basketball player, you love to see stuff like that, and no matter if you know him or not, you're coaching him or not, it's good to see stuff like that and be happy for him.
Did you know he was going to win it based on what you see?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know who was going to win. I wasn't locked on anyone. I thought Jericho was going to. Because I seen him, like, jump ridiculously. But then I realized, like, that dunk contest isn't really suited for big men. Because it's a lot of stuff that he can do that, like, doesn't look impressive because he's tall. But, like, other people can't do it. So, you know what I mean? But just because it doesn't wow you or, like, look as crazy as somebody that's 6 foot doing it. But that's besides the point. Mac won, and shout out to him. Like he showed out, and it was good to see.
Do you think Zion Ja rivalry in the dunk contest would be one of the greatest of all time? Like, would it rival like a Aaron Gordon and a Levine or a MJ and a Dominique Wilkins? Like, do you think that would be one of the greatest shows of all time if it were to happen?
Yeah, I think it has the potential to. It all just comes down to if those guys, like, if their bodies are healthy enough to do it, and the creativity aspect of it now, because like in 2023, what dunk haven't we seen? You know what I mean?
Right,
so
exactly.
You got to really get creative now, and really, it's not just about having bounce anymore. You got to have the creativity piece too. So I mean, yeah, I definitely think it has the potential to, though.
I think Ja could take a nickel off the top of the backboard and then get an alley-oop and dunk it.
I think Ja could do whatever Ja wants to do.
Where did Ja went to Murray State, right?
Yeah, he went to Murray.
Yeah. I remember seeing those guys at the NCAA tournament. They were showing like the pregame, and it was just like they're all just flying dunking. I was like, oh, they just don't do anything but dunk. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I remember
exciting game.
I remember them saying in the pregame, like, you're not going to get a more athletic team than this Murray State team, but you can beat them if you force them to shoot. But Quinton, I wanted to mention because as I told you when we got into contact with each other, I do the announcing for Fairport, and so I was thinking about it, and there's like this 6 degrees of separation type thing that I needed to tell you about. So when I joined up with Fairport, it was 4 years ago to do announcing. My first boys game was against Bishop Kearney. And the point guard for that Bishop Kearney team was Miles. So my first ever game was your younger brother at point guard, and boy, did he steal the show for BK. But also,
that was crazy.
Miles is now committed to St. Bonaventure University, which is where John and I went to college.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
So I guess a question that kind of spurned off that for me was, now that you've been down the road for a while, you've gone from high school in what is still a smaller town compared to like the city for basketball, to, a D1, big D1 program, spent 4 years there. Now you're in the pros. What kind of advice could you give to a player that is headed down the same road you took?
Just to never be satisfied. Like, honestly, I would say never get too high, never get too low. Like, the lows only last forever if you let them. Like, if something's bad, you're in a slump or something, and you just stay in a negative mindset and you're just frustrated with the world, frustrated with yourself, with your teammates, that frustration is not going to do nothing to make you stay where you're at, which is low. And I say don't get too high because you always want to stay humble, because life and this basketball thing will humble you quick, like no matter what level you're at. So I just like staying even keeled, never get too high, never get too low, and just put your head down and work, and never be too satisfied. Like never be satisfied at all, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
So, as a question I have, which players kind of that you played with made you think like this dude ain't real? Like, who's the one player where you're like, this guy kind of intimidates me because this makes no sense? Is there someone like that you've gone against?
I want to say intimidated is crazy, but I would say Jericho, honestly, like playing with him in summer league, and he's played in a couple of G League games, a few G League games in my 2 seasons with Westchester. It's like playing with him, he changes the entire game just because the amount of pressure. You run a screen and roll, the amount of pressure he puts on the rim is ridiculous. Like, it's almost impossible to stop. You can just come off the screen and throw the ball anywhere, and he's going to catch it, at least catch it. At the worst, he's going to catch it.
Someone else might happen.
I remember he played like 2 games, and he had like 12 dunks in 2 games or something like that. It was nuts.
That's crazy. Well, I have to ask one more question before we go to Stump the Squad. Have you eaten a Philly cheesesteak? I think that's a dumb question, but and what's your favorite spot?
That's a tough one for me because I really wasn't onto the cheesesteaks like that. I visited Temple 3 or 4 times before I even stepped foot on campus. So, all 4 of those times I had cheesesteaks, and like the first 2 times I had multiple of them. So I was like, they're cool, but I just wasn't. I was good.
You lost the taste for them. By the time you got to school
on campus.
I get you.
You're like, I'm good.
I've had enough.
But if I had to choose a spot, it'll probably be a spot called Larry's.
Larry's.
Interesting.
Larry's.
I don't mind these dudes. These dudes don't know nothing about cheesesteaks in Philly. They just like the Eagles, so don't mind them. They know about any good Philly cheesesteaks.
I'll say it for you. The cheesesteaks are kind of overrated. There, I said it.
Yeah. I said it.
Pizza any day, bro.
Definitely. And they eat them dry. Like, I remember I used to have to get my mom to, like, if I wanted to eat a cheesesteak, I would have to get my mom to, like, mail me, like, boss sauce or country sweet sauce.
I love that you said boss sauce. I love that you said boss sauce. That is a Rochester staple, and I love it.
What is it? Talk to me. What is boss sauce?
It's essentially like kind of a hot meat sauce type of thing. If I'm not
hold up, what?
I know it sounds like.
Yeah, we do this in like every show, bro.
Whoa, Mike is Charles Barkley.
Yeah, like buffalo sauce with a like sweet twist to it.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds a lot better.
Hot meat sauce.
Hot meat sauce.
That's what they put on all the garbage plates and all like the Bill Gray's burgers.
Oh, you ever have a garbage plate?
Of course.
That's got to be better than a Philly cheesesteak, right?
I don't eat either anymore, honestly. I've been garbage plated out since I was like 16.
I think that's when I had mine too. Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Gentlemen, is it time?
Are we going to do this, gentlemen? Are we doing this? Bro, this is about to get hype right now, Quinn. Brace yourself.
It's going to get loud.
Cover your ears. I got a milk jug for it.
Stop time, baby. Let's do it.
It's the biggest part of the show. It is. Jamie, what's it called?
Stomp the Squad. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our favorite time in the show. This is when we all pretend like we know everything about sports, but we're actually cheating and looking at our phones. We only get it wrong because we don't want to seem pompous and genius-like. But what we do is we ask each other questions from any sport, random as it could be. Each question is worth 2 points, and the person with the most points at the end of the Stump the Squad segment gets to have their rant of the week. Pat is the reigning champion, so we got to beat him this week. But I'm going to take it down south to the bottom to my man John to kick us off with our Stump the Squad first question of the week. What you got for us tonight, John?
Perfect. Awesome.
Hopefully your Wi-Fi don't
crap. Hopefully my Wi-Fi won't crap out. Right? Exactly. All right. So this is an NCAA question. It is, who were the 4 number 1 seeds in the 1994 NCAA basketball tournament?
94.
94.
I got you.
So was it?
I was 2.
Me too.
That was a negative
Wait,
1.
so who answers? Me? I answer?
No. All of us
okay.
answer. We give multiple choice, Quinton, and then you answer like A, B, C, or D. So
all right, bet.
All right. So is it Arkansas, Arizona, Duke, and Florida? Arkansas, Missouri, Purdue, or Duke? Arkansas, Missouri, Purdue, North Carolina? North Carolina, Arizona, Arkansas, UConn. I know that's a lot, but let me know if you want me to repeat.
Give me D.
Yeah, I'm going to take D.
C.
Oh, I like C too.
Yeah, that was my second choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go C also.
Don't tell me it's A.
I have successfully stumped.
Oh God,
Mike and Jamie.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Missouri, Purdue.
Come on, go with the guess. Go with the guess.
Well, I can at least settle for the fact that I remembered that it was North Carolina.
Yep. And Arkansas, of course, because you get that.
I remember.
Arkansas won the national championship.
I knew it was
Arkansas. When you weren't alive.
I knew Arkansas.
Yeah.
All right, Mikey, go ahead.
Okay, so I too have a college basketball question, and this one hits a little close to home for some of the members of our squad. Simple question.
Jamie.
Which school established their basketball program first? Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse, or Georgetown?
Ooh.
Again, that is
pretty
Duke.
Brand with the rivalry stuff. Nice.
Right?
I know.
That's what prompted it in my mind. Again, it is A, Duke, B, UNC, C, Syracuse, or D, Georgetown.
Only because I think Georgetown is the oldest university out of them all. I'm going to go with Georgetown.
I was also
I'm going to go D.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all going Georgetown.
Yeah.
Okay.
He stumped us. Look how excited he is.
I know.
I just the squad. You ready for this?
Yeah,
It's
don't
Syracuse.
tell me
It's Syracuse.
Oh,
Damn
no.
it. How do we don't even, Pat, we don't even deserve to be fans.
They don't deserve to be a basketball team.
It was in order of oldest to newest, and this surprised me. It is Syracuse in 1898.
Yeah, I knew it was in 1800. I thought Georgetown was ahead of them, though.
Duke in 1905. Georgetown in 1907. And North Carolina in 1910.
1910.
Right. So before we go on to the next update after round 2 here of Stump the Squad is I'm at -4, Q is at 0, John's at -2, Pat's at 0, and Mike, you're at -2. So it's anybody's game still.
Anybody's ball game. All right. I will send it to Jay.
All right. Well, since we're in a college basketball mood, I'm going to stay on the college basketball hot today. So I'm taking it home to Kentucky.
Of course.
After last night, Oscar Tshiebwe became the 61st Kentucky player to score 1,000 points in their career. Okay. How many have done it under Coach Cal since he's been the coach at Kentucky? Is it 4, 5, 8, or 10 players? So how many players out of those 61 have been 1,000-point scorers under Coach Cal since he's been at Kentucky? 4, 5, 8, or 10?
I'll say 4.
Yeah, I'm saying 4.
They don't stick around.
Because I was going to say, because all
they're one and done. They're in the
NBA. Up until last night, it was 4. So
that's a trick question.
Oscar Tshiebwe became the 5th player under Coach Cal. I think Darius Miles was 1. Terrence Jones was 1. I'm trying to remember who the other 2 were, but I know those 2 I followed, and those guys were definitely their 1,000-point scorers. But yeah, it's not that many. Not that many. 5.
One of the
Harrisons. They all jumped ship early.
One of the Harrisons?
Yep. All right, Pat, you want to go and then we'll let Q close it out?
I got you.
All right, do it.
Put me in big screen.
I am.
All right, in honor of our guest, we're going to keep it close to home for him. Where does Carmelo Anthony land on the Knicks' all-time points leaders?
Ooh.
Is it A, 5, B, 6, C, 7, or D, 8?
He was hurt so much towards the end of his career, too.
Because he wore the number, and I feel like it's one of those weird sports things that, like, it corresponds. I'm going to go with 7.
I'm going to go with 7.
You said, what was it again? What were the first 2?
5, 6, 7, or 8.
I think he's 6.
Damn it. Just because I have to try and score points here because it's 7 or 6, I'm going to go with 5.
I've successfully stumped John and Jamie.
Damn
it is 7.
Knew it.
He got it in the
felt like it was one of those weird things.
Least amount of games in the top 10 for the Knicks history too.
Okay.
All right. Right now we have Q at 0, me at -6, and Jay at -6.
We're done.
Pat yeah, pretty much. Pat at -2, Mike at -2. So it's up to those 3. Q, you got a question?
Mm-mm. I'm not going to be able to think of a good one. Mine's going to be too easy.
Well, I tell you what. Here's what we'll do. Since you are the winner, we give you the rights here to rant about anything that you see fit going on in the landscape of sports or your life or NBA or anything you want here. Take it away here and just tell us what's on your mind.
Platform is yours, sir.
What's been bothering me?
It could be anything good or bad.
This is tough.
That's why I never want to win.
Put you on the spot.
I never want to talk about anything.
Bro, how are we going to let Q come on here and beat us his first time in Cinco Squad? We suck. We suck collectively as 4 co-hosts that say we're all about sports.
Well, you and I suck. The rest of them both, I mean, they're at least within one of them.
They were in the running. I know. I knew it was 7, though, but I needed points.
You and I were out there.
All right, we could talk about that pass interference call in the Super Bowl.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I enjoy it. Let's talk about it. That was terrible, man. Like, how can you call that?
Really
that's like calling a
that
foul.
ball was catchable.
The ball was way
it
out of
wasn't even
bounds.
called. Yeah.
Gone.
Here's the better question. Would you admit it in a post-game interview?
Never. Ever.
Never. Right?
Never. I wouldn't admit it, even if it was a regular season. If it was a preseason game, I'm not admitting that.
Doing?
You're talking about the Super Bowl? Man.
Dude, my thing, too, is, like, being an Eagles fan, I just want to be mad about something, and he took that away from me. I want to be mad about it.
Yeah.
Let me have a gripe against the refs. I had to force everything onto the field now that everyone was slipping around there.
It's so bad
the
that
field
we
was
saw
terrible.
Well, Quinton, I don't know if you knew, but like the NFL tests out new turf every year in the Super Bowl. I don't know how long it's been going on, but they test out new type of turf.
This was year 1.
Oh, this is the first year?
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
No, they do it every year.
I think that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That was one of our topics last week.
Super Bowl to test of what?
Yeah, right. So it's like how do you do that to players and like But I like what Jason. I watched the New Heights podcast with Jason and Travis Kelce, and one of the things Jason says, I don't make excuses for that. So as an athlete, like you, do you feel like you would make an excuse, or would you kind of just like let it go?
Oh no, it's something that I would like. It would be like a bummer, but it's not like we're playing on it by ourselves. Like both teams are doing it. So
right.
You know what I mean?
For someone who had no dog in the fight, it was a great game. It was a tale of two halves.
Sure.
Oh, you would say that. You would say that.
That was a hell of a Super Bowl to watch.
It was the worst night of my life.
Sorry.
Yeah, it took Pat and I like a week. I was fortunate to be on the show that week because I was just like, dang,
I'll tell you what. My buddy who doesn't even watch football texted me that night saying, "Oh, dude, your team lost." He just texted me saying, "Was that too soon?" I said, "Yeah, man, it's still too soon."
At some point, we're gonna do our predictions for who wins the NBA Finals in a couple weeks. So tell us who you think is going to be in the finals and who's going to take it this year.
I'm gonna say Boston. The West is hard, man.
Hard.
Yeah, it's a very difficult.
Take the safe answer: Boston and Phoenix.
Okay, Finals MVP is the winner, and then the Suns win. So the Suns win.
Yeah.
Pat has something else to say about that. He's Tatum and Boston.
I got Raptors hat on, but nah, man. I want to see Jaylen Brown get that MVP
with the mask. With the mask on.
With the mask.
That would be. I think the NBA wants that right now. I think that's exactly what the NBA hopes for with the structure of both teams at the moment.
Yeah,
hell of a finals. We could see a Bucks Suns rematch. I don't know if the Bucks have it to make a deep run, but I think they want the Celtics and Suns.
I like the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Celtics, even though the Bucks added Jay Crowder to try to play a little tighter D on Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but I mean, how much tighter can it be? I think he's got to that point where like
it don't matter.
You're not locking him up for
a
series, so
yeah,
you can make it tough game 1 or game 2.
Yeah, he'll find a way around him.
This man be scoring 50 points like it's 30 points all of a sudden. It's like, why are you still scoring 50 again?
And the thing with him is, if he doesn't have it going, he's a willing passer. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to pick one. Like, you gonna let these guys beat you, or you gonna let?
Right.
I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll just have to wait.
A true disciple of Coach K. The man was coached well early on. So
definitely,
yep.
Of course. All right, well,
we end the show very awkwardly.
Goodbye now.
Freeze and pretend like we're frozen too.
Yeah. So Quinton, thanks for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you hopping on the show, chopping it up about basketball. Love hearing about the different levels you've played at and the experiences you've had, and definitely have to have you on the show again sometime. Talk a little bit more, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in the NBA soon.
Yeah, let's hope, man. I appreciate you guys having me, though.
You can do it. I believe you're gonna do it. So
and good luck.
You're on yourself. Good luck tomorrow, man. We got your back. So
we got you.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Appreciate your time too, man.
Thank you for having me, man. You guys take care.
All right, you too.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, boys. Great show. Great way to end it. If anyone missed the show, tune in to an iHeart podcast, Apple's, what's the other one? Spotify,
iHeart,
Apple's, Granny Smith Apples, YouTube, Facebook,
bananas, oranges,
Fiji. Tune into that interview. For that interview, any of those Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart, we will post that here afterwards. Have a lot of clips. Guys, any final thoughts you guys have on the weekend coming up? We got a lot of good college basketball coming up. Any final thoughts?
Syracuse sucks.
All right. Jay, you want to say something about soccer. Go ahead.
No, I got nothing to say about soccer. It's all about my Kentucky Wildcats now. Let's keep the train rolling, baby. Let's beat Auburn. Beat those pesky Auburn Tigers. They destroyed us last season. Time to get some revenge.
Is that really Jamie?
Maybe, or is it?
No, it's only when I start talking.
Liverpool lost 5-2 to Real Madrid this week. Okay, I have nothing good to say about soccer. We got our asses on the test this week.
I was gonna say it's when I start talking, is that's when he throws it in.
Please. Well, from my perspective,
Love you, Jay.
Let's go UNC. Let's go UNC. Let's try to turn it around and bounce back from that NC State loss. That was not fun.
Damn, even Syracuse beat them.
Yeah, but we beat Syracuse, so it's kind of a.
Oh yeah.
Remember, Pat? Remember we were there.
Yeah.
Remember
Dogs.
Yeah.
2 + 2 equals 7.
But also, welcome back, Major League Baseball spring training in full swing. Everybody's in camp. I'm so excited because it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
much madness.
And with that,
yes, and with that song,
we'll see everyone next week, Thursday, 8:45 Eastern. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Cinco Squad.